plaintiff, Cheryl Boland, was married to the defendant's brother until he recently passed away. As a result of his passing, it's been a tough year for both Cheryl and the defendant. And Cheryl tried to avoid bringing the defendant to court, but she's suing her today for rent, late fees, and utilities. Defendant Suzanne Durand is extremely emotional and says she's been having a hard time dealing with her brother's death. Suzanne only admits to owing for the rent and a water bill, but denies owing for the electric bill.
Go ahead, start with you.
This is my husband's sister, my sister-in-law. We purchased a home about 5 years ago, and she has been renting it out for the last 3 years and 8 months. We've had a very, very good relationship for the last 15 years. It's been a really tough last year. My husband has just recently passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
And it's been a very emotionally and financially hard and stressful year for myself and
How
her
long were you all married?
15 years.
15.
And it's, I'm sure it's been that kind of a year for her too. Very hard and emotional. I didn't want to come here today. I tried to do everything to avoid it. I placed many phone calls to her. None of them ever returned. I've got a list of the dates and times. Just trying to clear up this matter and get the last month's rent and the late fees and the utilities paid.
Before we get to the specifics, let me allow her if she wants to give some background. Ma'am?
Yeah, Cheryl is my sister-in-law. Her and my brother were together for 15 years, married the last 7. This has been a very difficult year.
Yes.
I have a really hard time with this.
Here's some tissue, please don't.
I got it. When they purchased the house in July of 2008, I came and helped do some of the repairs and some of the painting, and my son come and helped put in 2 of the big windows. The house had been sitting for almost 2 years when they purchased it. I moved in, I believe it was August 8th.
You're talking about the lease now?
Yeah, a little kind of. Our relationship has been very strained this year.
Over this?
Yeah.
And what was the agreement and when did it begin?
She started renting in either August or September of '08.
August.
How much per month?
I have a copy of the last 2 leases here. $13.50 a month.
Let me have the last one, please. And the last one was $13.50 a month?
Yes.
The rent you're suing for, is it from the new lease? Or the both?
It's from the last current lease. That she's had 2 3-month leases as of lately. And the last lease started in the end of January.
Gotcha. So tell me what month she has failed to pay.
The only month that I don't have payment for is April of 12. I do have, and I've got copies here, I do have $500 that she's since paid. So she only still owes $1,000, which is the balance of the $13.50 plus the 2 late fees, which I've got letters stating she owes it, the late fees for March and April. So it brings her balance that she owes still down to $1,000.
Okay, that's for rent. What about utility?
For rent. I have utility bills here, a water bill that I also have copies of the water bill. And
the agreement called for her to pay that?
Yes, in the lease on line 10 there you'll see that she pays all utilities.
Have you a copy of the outstanding balance?
Yes, I do.
That's for water. Any other utilities?
Well, I have a Connexus Energy bill here, and it is still owing. It's in her name from renting the house.
Okay, so how does that affect you?
I don't know if it will. I don't know if it'll go on my record or not. So I was just going to leave that up to you.
Yeah, it won't.
The water bill has already been placed on my record and needs to be paid.
Yeah. Ma'am, what do you say to this? The rent, she says you owe for April, and the balance of the April's rent minus what she received from you, and then the late fees and the utility bills.
The water bill, yes, does go on her taxes if that's not paid. The electric bill is solely in my name. That won't affect Cheryl in any way. I have the bill myself for that. On the water bill, she has a different amount than what the city of Coon Rapids gave me when I called for a last bill.
Sounds like she's admitting.
Yes, I know I have
Yes.
heard of that.
And the only thing you're contesting is
The electric bill.
which is
Yeah.
in your name.
Correct.
And
And
you're
I
right.
wasn't sure that was owed because it is in her name.
That's correct. So we're going to
have the
deduct
bill for that.
So her amount that she would owe would be rent for $850, late fees of $150, and the utilities of $408.87, and none for the electric bill.
Correct.
All right, that's your judgment. 1408. Have a good day.
Thank
I'm very glad it's over. While renting, there were a lot of repairs that were never completed that were supposed to have been within the first month that never got done. Yes, I
updates to
owed
the
her that.
property.
I haven't been working. I lost another job in May. That's why she hasn't gotten the money.
And I know that's been a very tough year.
Handle the phone calls anymore because I had enough of my own stress.
Just glad it's over. We had a very close relationship, and with the loss of my husband and her brother, it's
And
been
my
very
sister,
difficult on our whole family, and we had another tragedy with his other sister.
Also almost lost one of my sisters in June, so it's
Yeah, it's been a tough year.